Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the show that shares everything with you that should be done before saying I do. This is Before I Do, live and direct on the Couples Academy Network. My name is Walter Jennings.
My name is Charmaine Jennings.
And we are here to facilitate courageous conversations on dating and relationships. So whether you are single, engaged, dating, don't know if you want to be married, we are here to speak with you and to hear your comments about dating and relationships.
Yes, and every show we pose the speak now, forever hold your peace question. Don't hold your peace, all right? We want you to speak. Speak to us, put your comments, your questions out there, and, let us know your business. And if you don't want us to know your business, it can be for that hypothetical friend, yeah, you got to do the air quotes when you say it, all right? But definitely don't hold your peace. We want you to speak to us, engage with us, and let us know how you are doing with your love life, your marriage life, or your dating life.
Absolutely. And want to give a shout out to Adrian. Adrian says Couples Academy. Say thank you for the content. Ring the bell for Adrian. Shout out to Adrian. Thank you so much for tuning in and everyone that's checking us out tonight on the Before I Do in the Couples Academy Network. All right. So we have a very interesting topic that we are going to be discussing. And for those of you who have been following us for a while, you know that this show is a little over a year old. We celebrated a year back this summer. Ring the bell for that.
Yes.
And so one of the previous topics that we actually discussed on Before I Do is prioritizing your secret list. You know that list you have of things that you desire and want in a mate, those things that this person has to have this person has to have that. So we did a whole series about, prioritizing your secret checklist. And then one of your favorite shows we did immediately follow that was burning that list, right?
Yes.
Because the idea is to become those things that you want. However, another secret list has recently been in dating news. And so this all started with a video that was posted via social media of two individuals going out on a date. And this video picks up with them on their way to a restaurant for a first date, and this young lady arrives at the restaurant. The gentleman gets out of the car to open her door, and she says, I am not getting out here. This is the Cheesecake Factory. I am not eating at the Cheesecake Factory. The gentleman gets back in the car, and she goes on to say, this is not up to my standards. Do you see this? This is not somebody that you take to the Cheesecake Factory as a first date. Literally, these are her words. Now, if you listen to it, we go on to find out that this was not the gentleman's first choice. This was not where he was intending to take her. He was actually going to take her to another restaurant, but because she made them late, they missed their reservation. And so this actually went into this whole thing of him canceling the date and saying, look, I'm getting ready to take you home. And she's saying, well, can't we come to a compromise? He's like, absolutely not. And so the young lady then goes on to solicit for help on social media, and boy, does she get it. And so these are the lists of first date locations that are completely unacceptable. Some of you may see some of your favorite restaurants and locations that are on here. You see things like Cheesecake Factory, Applebee's. For those of you on the other side, you see the gym, church, Starbucks, church, nightclubs, places that require too much driving. And we know that these things are obviously a group of people's opinion, but it does open the question, what is on your secret dating checklist? When you think about not just what you're looking for in an individual, but when you think about areas or locations that are a part of your first date activity, or locations and places that you absolutely will not go and find unacceptable, what is on your list?
I have so many things to say, and I feel like I have to talk like this to say it, but I have so many things to say about that whole situation, but I will refrain.
Don't refrain.
We will start with, the fact that and I feel like I get a bad reputation, but the bottom line is, we need to start aligning our words and our actions. If you are so, what is it, a 5-star quality, if you're a 10, you live your life on 100 and you expect to be treated like, 100%, 110% or whatever, you have to start aligning your actions with that. I think, the whole situation is just like, I don't understand. If you're used to going to 5-star, restaurant quality, that's your thing, then you know what? You need to have a 5-star quality, respect for time, because great establishments, they don't play about their time. You honor what you said. You say you were going to be here at 8 o'clock. And mind y'all, okay, I ain't judging nobody, because I struggle with Caribbean time, y'all. I'm always, I got to work on my timing. But one thing I will say is I respect people, like people who I know are time people, when they say, look, if you're not here by this time, like, I'm gone. Mm-hmm. Or you have an appointment by this time. If they choose to be merciful, if they choose to adjust their schedule for you, then great. You've been given a gift. But, respect people's time. So mm-hmm. I don't know. Sometimes I believe that we often operate in hypocrisy a lot. We say that, oh, this is who I am, and he needs to treat me with this, or she needs to treat me this way. But the bottom line is, are you treating others with the same level of status, respect, dignity, decency that you want someone to treat you? So you want someone to honor you because of the quality that you bring to the relationship, but you want to dishonor someone else's time. I'm gonna be quiet right there.
Yeah, no, but I think part of the challenge is that you have individuals who they have these secret lists, right? And there's nothing wrong with having expectations. Absolutely. There's absolutely nothing wrong with having standards. Mm-hmm. The challenge is that when you are not holding yourself to your own standards, absolutely. When you are not being honest with yourself and being transparent about what it is that you believe and stand on, and then walking in those things yourself, that hypocrisy shows up in situations like this, where again, you want 5-star treatment, but have a 1-star attitude. So again, it's when we're not honest and being authentic, and we're not being true to ourselves. But it does lead to our first Speak Now question of the night, which is an honest one. And again, I know for you do have standards when you were dating, as far as when it came to somebody, coming to pick you up at your house and blowing the horn, and just blowing the horn and not coming up and knocking on the door and different things like that. There are certain dating protocols and things that are decent and in order. And so our Speak Now question of the night is, what places or activities would you classify as unacceptable for a first date? And this can also lead to behaviors as well. So what are the places, what are the activities, what are the behaviors that you would deem as unacceptable for a first date?
Well, I will say this, I was blessed in the sense that with the whole coming to my house and honking the horn, expecting me to run out to the car, like I had some help with that. My dad wasn't having that. Okay. Like he helped to class me up to let me know, like, yeah, no, not his daughter. Right. Okay. And I'm thankful for that, because everyone doesn't have that experience. And so even in the moment, I didn't think it was a big deal, but my dad did. And so it became my standard as well. And I'm thankful for that. But as far as what places or activities would I classify as unacceptable for a first date, to be honest, it's probably an unfair question, because I, in my age now, I think I'm a lot more open. So to be honest, I would meet somebody at a bookstore, to be honest, because my agenda on a first date is to get to know them, to see if they're going to be worth a second date.
Right.
So I know, and one thing that when you book us for a session, people, we can help you break down really what are you attracted to and drawn to. And so for me, I'm very clear about what areas of intimacy I'm drawn to. And for me, it's intellectual intimacy and it's emotional intimacy. So the places that I choose for dates need to help to cultivate those things, to see, is there going to be attraction here, right? You can be fine as all get out, but the bottom line is, if you're not, if you can't rock with me intellectually, then yeah, we're not going to get to emotional intimacy, which is my second expectation. So the places I choose to date would absolutely be intentional and in alignment with me seeing your thought process.
Yeah, I know for me, when I was dating, I had a rule that I would never take anybody on a date for someplace that like I wouldn't go.
Agreed.
Because when I take you out on a date, I'm going too. So
this has been his life
absolutely
since I met him.
Yeah,
20
when
plus
I
years
go
ago.
out on a date, I'm going as well. So there is a standard that I have for
That's
me.
true.
And so I take that into my dating life.
Mhm.
So, you know, and I will admit, the teenage young adult me looking at that list, and I'm gonna put it up again so y'all can see, looking at this list, I'm like, these were places we dreamed about going when we were in college, in high school. Like, this was stuff that was on our, I can't wait to get a job so I can go to the Cheesecake Factory. I can't wait, you know, that until I get a career so I can take somebody to the Olive Garden.
Let me tell you something. I know, right? Red Lobster and Olive Garden was the whoa, you know.
I mean, we've leveled up now, obviously.
Of course. But, you know, to see this list, though, to me, it reminds me of, okay, if you treat yourself to fine dining and what you define as fine dining, right? And some of these things don't meet your standards, then that's fine as long as that's how you treat you.
Absolutely.
But there are individuals, and that has been your anthem since I met you 20 plus years ago. And I thought it was awesome because it's true, right? Because that taught me that your words, your actions, they were all in alignment with how you treat yourself in your relationship with you.
Yeah, and the thing is, I'm not necessarily trying to impress you. I'm trying to get to know you. So know that when we go out on a date, this is a part of my norm. So this is not me trying to, well, you know, trying to wine and dine it. No, I'm trying to get to know you, but I'm also trying to make sure that I'm adhering to my standards when we go out. So once again, our Speak Now question of the night is, what places or activities would you classify as unacceptable for a first date? Be sure to put your responses in the comment section, and we will gonna take a really quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with more. Before I do, we'll be back, everyone.
All right, welcome back to Before I Do, the show where we really have some courageous conversations about dating, marriage, relationships with yourself, relationships with other people, etc., etc. Tonight, we are talking about what's on your secret dating checklist, and we want to know, we ask you to speak now, forever hold your peace. We don't really mean that. We want you to speak, okay? What places or activities would you classify as unacceptable for a first date? Come on, ladies, where y'all at? I really want to know what's on your list where you are looking all kind of like crazy and like, oh no, he didn't. And gentlemen, okay, we want to know if it was her idea and she says, yeah, let's go out, let's meet up here. You know, what has you on the other end of that text message or phone call or whatever saying, yeah, no. Okay, we want to know.
All right. Well, Laquita chimed in. Laquita says, good evening. She says, places, no fast food places like McDonald's or Wendy's, etc. Activities don't take me anywhere that I wouldn't have fun at. All right. So, Queen, if you want to chime in with your why as well, we want to hear your why. Why not fast food restaurants? Why? And as far as activities, as far as with having fun, why is that important to you? I know that for me, when it comes to fast food restaurants, there's a difference for me between a fast food restaurant and a chain restaurant. Okay. And part of the distinction and what the young lady when on this date was saying is that this is a chain restaurant. So in other words, it's not unique. And so what she was looking for, what I inferred from that, was she's looking for something unique, something that again, rare. That is, rare quality. And so again, obviously there's some things that she's trying to read into when it comes to getting to know this person, which is completely valid. But you know, it all depends on your purpose when you talk about the dating aspect. So yeah, when it comes to a fast food restaurant, you know, it's something that's common, something that something you can see or get every day. You know, it doesn't necessarily tax your pockets too heavy. So when you are going out on a date with someone, you do want them to feel like you made an effort.
Exactly.
And so part of it is you put some thought and some consideration into it, that you're really thinking about me and the fact that you want us to have a good time. And so that's completely valid.
Yeah, I mean the situation that went viral, you know, on social media about the, you know, that, you know, they're really talking about the list, right? You know, if she wanted unique and she wanted rare, okay, those might be her words, right? Those are the things that stand out to her. And a lot of times, let's be honest, maybe she wants unique and rare because she feels like she's unique, she's rare. Like, you setting this date up is an indirect reflection on how you feel about her, what you think about her, right? So some people definitely they look into the effort that you make or don't make on a date as, wow, this is how this person values me. But guess what? On the opposite end of that, the gentleman could have said the same thing. This is how you value me. You show up late. We missed our appointment, and then now, okay, now you're complaining about plan B, right? You don't get to complain about plan B. And so with Laquita, you know, mentioning about fun is on her priority list. And so that means fun usually includes what? Smiling, right? Enjoyment and things like that. So when you're kind of creating your dating profile, fun, we know, has to be an ingredient in the dating process. So you want to advocate for that. And then for you to say no fast food restaurants, that could be for any reason, right? Sometimes people, they just aren't maybe they've eaten there so much they're like, I just can't anymore, right? Or for whatever reason. Sometimes people have personal reasons, sometimes dietary reasons, sometimes it's like, I worked here and I'm done. I will not do McDonald's, or I will not do Wendy's because I've had it too much.
Absolutely. So when we talked about your prioritizing your secret checklist when it comes to what you want in a mate, we gave you 5 different W's to consider. So as we go into your secret checklist for dating, we have another 5 W's for you to consider, and we're going to get into those. So W number 1, who are you going out on a date with? Are your expectations being shaped by the person's occupation? Does the person's physical attraction factor into the equation?
Wow.
In other words, if they don't look so good, maybe your expectations are a little higher. Maybe if they look really good, your expectations may be lower. You make some concessions. I'm just saying.
You're getting in people's business.
I'm just saying, if we're going to be real, let's be real.
But you know what? There is kind of an unconscious thing.
There you go.
That if you are not that cute in the face, then you need to be cute in the wallet. Okay? If you're cute in the face, you might get a hall pass on not being so cute in your finances.
Or let's say, you know, I'm a professional athlete and it's a first date. Is the expectation higher for me because you know I'm a professional athlete than it would be for somebody who may work, you know what I'm saying, you know, at a regular blue collar job? So you know, those things are important in the consideration of it. And then again, maybe, and it's about being honest with yourself when it comes to your expectations, because these things will come out.
Well, I think it goes back to what you said. When you value yourself, if you would treat yourself to a 5-star restaurant with a tablecloth and you got real cloth napkins, okay, then it's okay to have that standard for dating, right? But if you don't even treat yourself that way, but you have a higher standard for someone else, there's some challenges there.
And part of the reason why this question is so important, right, is because you can set expectations for me and make these generalizations based on the fact that you think that I have it, and I may have it, but maybe I'm economical. Maybe I'm the type of person that I don't go to these 5- and 4-star restaurants. There's a very popular athlete right now where he has always talked about, he actually grew up in South Florida. And so he talks about how he is notoriously frugal. but he does that because he grew up in a very destitute
poor. When you grow up
childhood.
poor, you don't want to be poor ever
So
again.
he's very frugal with his money. He doesn't spend a lot of money. He talks about wearing fake jewelry and all of that because of the fact that, but everybody expects him to carry himself a certain way because he is a professional athlete. And so it could be you may be setting yourself up to make these false expectations about someone because of the perceived conceptions that you have, the notions that you have about them based on their occupation, or because they ugly, and setting these expectations on them. You may be missing out on a good person because you're adjusting your expectations based on what you think they can or can't do.
Agree. I mean, a safe space to be in is really expectations for yourself. All right. So our next W is what? All right. So now, what is the purpose of a date? You need to personally define it. Oh, I see what my honey did. That's a picture of us, y'all. Yes. Okay, so he got me all smiling and blushing. All right, so what is the purpose of the date, right? Is this someone that you're interested in getting to know or wanting them to get to know you, right? And so these are questions you want to ask yourself, like, are you really wanting to get to know that person? So you don't want to have a date where you're sitting in a dark movie theater and you really can't talk to each other for 2.5 hours, right? That's probably not the most strategic date, especially for a person who, like me, I'm more interested in intellectual intimacy. I can't talk to you if we're sitting in the movie theater for 2.5 hours unless this is kind of a lengthy date, right? Or are you just looking to be social or adventurous, right? So to me, this goes back into the person who says fun, right? Laquita, she says fun, right? That might be a little bit more social, interactive, adventurous. And this is another question. When you think about the purpose of your dating life, right? Would you define it? Would this be a question? Are you just looking for a free meal? Ouch. Ouch. Out. If you just in it for the free meal, and I'm just going to tell the whole truth, y'all. I have run into people. Okay, I have had people who've had to coach them in a different direction who said, I just went out on a date with this guy because I just wanted a free meal. Don't do that. To me, stop it. Don't do that because, to me, you're wasting the other person's time. I don't know. I think it's an integrity issue. Don't waste. People are looking for love. People are looking for, and people might get on me because there are people who date as a sport. They're not really looking for love, right? Some people date just because it's a social sport for them. And if that's the case, just be honest with people, okay? Because there are people who really want love out there, and you're wasting their time and their money if you're just in it for the free meal.
Absolutely. All right. The third W, when. Now, when did you add these locations and activities to your secret list? When you think about these places or things that you absolutely will not do, that you deem unacceptable, when did you add them to your list? Could these be things that have been based on negative previous experiences that you've had? Maybe I remember I dated a young lady and ended up marrying her where there was a chain restaurant where she refused to eat at this restaurant for the better part of our relationship.
It was
fast forward to now.
Traumatizing.
Absolutely. But again, that's completely understandable. But over time, she was able to start eating there again. But or maybe you've been influenced by someone else's experience. And now some of the things are on your list. They're not even based on how you've experienced those activities or locations, but just because of how you may be influenced by your friends, how you may be influenced by social media,
culture,
societal expectations, culture. And so it's important for you to really scrutinize when you added these things to your list and where they came from.
Absolutely. And need I say the chain restaurant that you're talking about?
I'm just saying, we don't want to get no lawsuits.
Okay, well, we won't mention it. But for me, it was largely cultural. I had never eaten at that chain restaurant before. It wasn't a part of my culture. My family, like my parents, didn't do that restaurant. And so for me, and then so of course it was first impressions. Y'all, if I don't care what restaurant I go, it could be a 5-star restaurant. If there are flies flying around, and I get it, when you go to a barbecue, the food is delicious, the flies are, but we're outside, and of course, even flies know good food when they smell it. Okay, but this restaurant, like, there was like some questionable environmental things going on there. So yeah, they didn't have me at hello. All right. So our next W, get ready to write it down. Our next W is where. Okay. Where do you want or expect to go? So like be intentional, right? Be a part of the conversation when it comes to dates. Don't set the person up for failure, or make them have to play psychic or detective to figure out where you want to go and what you want to do.
Please.
Please. Give them some support. Now, if you like me, because I'm real chill, right? If you're like me, I just need some place where I can talk to you, to be honest, right? And so it doesn't have to be all fancy and this and that. Long as it's quiet, long as it's place that's relaxing and calm, I can be all right with that. So these are some questions we want you to think about. What are some of your preferred locations or activities? Again, someone may take you out on a date and they may take you to this place and it's not that glamorous, but maybe what makes it amazing to them, maybe it's the people. Maybe the waitress, the owner of the restaurant, they have a personal relationship. Maybe those people have been taking care of them and waiting on them for years. Like, you never know the personal connection a person has. Another question is, how open are you to potentially new ideas or places? Some people are funny about food. Let's just be honest. If you kind of have a pattern of places that you're open to, or you're not as open-minded when it comes to food, just be honest and own it. And then lastly, men function,
we make decisions as far as like when it comes to activities and locations based on functionality and affordability. Those are the two things that we generally take into consideration. But I wanted to back up to the whole idea of how open are you to new ideas and new places. So here, and you mentioned it, right? Yep. So say I take you somewhere and it's out of the box, it's different, but you don't like it. Will you hold that experience against me because it was bad? Or do I get credit for introducing you to something that you hadn't done before? So that's something you really want to think about, because again, it may be, girl, he took me to so-and-so and so-and-so, and that food was nasty and blah, blah, blah. Well, had you ever done it before? I mean, because again, if you want to be treated unique and rare and special, and I create a unique, rare, and special experience for you, but all you can focus on is the end result of it rather than the process and this being a unique experience, again, you may be missing out on somebody that is going to be considerate of you.
Okay, you need to wait right there. I see what you're doing, brother.
I'm just saying.
Yes. So that is so important because it does speak back to your why. Right? Let's be honest. If you are the person at work where you were A, B, C, D, E, F, G, you are chronological, sequential, you get things done, you are a timely person. Usually you're a left brain hemisphere type individual where you are very regimented. Maybe this person is brought into your life because you want adventure. You need spontaneity. You need diversity in your dating life, right? And so a lot of times, are you looking to date you? Or are you looking to date someone that's going to stretch you?
That's a good one. You know, some of y'all are looking for you.
Absolutely.
And you don't need you. You need your compliment. You don't need your twin. You need your compliment.
You better say that again. Notice he didn't say your opposite.
No.
He said you need your compliment. The person who is going to bring and to support the evolution of you.
No doubt.
And so if you need more adventure, spontaneity, things like that. And I will admit, that's what you brought into me. When it came to food, when this brother met me, all I would eat was chicken fingers and French fries. That's it. I would not take risks when it comes to food. I was very regimented, and I just it didn't look right, didn't smell right, and so because of him, I really opened up my palate. And it's so funny because that's who my dad is in my life, right? My dad will bring home these weird things and we'll taste them. And my dad literally started what we call taste labs in our counseling process. I really got the idea from him because he would bring these weird, unique things home. And once we ate them, he would laugh. It would be shark, or it would be some kind of exotic meat or cobbler or something he baked. But my dad was very out of the box like that. And he didn't want, now that I realize, he didn't want us to be closed-minded to exotic experiences.
Exactly. And you actually alluded to the last why the last W, why are these locations and activities important to you? Now, these are the things that are noted on your secret no thank you list, but these are also the things that are on your preferred list. So really scrutinize why those locations and why those activities are important to you, because what it does is it also provides you a snapshot into yourself. So it helps you to really understand you, the things you like, the things you don't like, being able to really question why you like those things. When were you introduced to them? Have I really tried it? Maybe it's based on trauma from my childhood, and I didn't have a good experience at this. So it's being able to understand the why and some of the stories and the narrative behind the places on that list, so you can really be honest with yourself and really set yourself up for some really meaningful experiences with people.
Yeah, it's a missed opportunity to really commune and connect and to go deeper, right? Something else that we love to do with our couples is to make sure that they know themselves. You need to constantly, you are in a relationship with you for the rest of your life, so you need to constantly learn about not just who you are, but why you are, how you are, and all of these different things. And so your why is huge. Don't miss the opportunity to really connect and commune with someone else by choosing to withhold your why. It's a very important part. And if you are an extrovert, and you're dating introverts, you've noticed that you connect a lot with introverts. Or if you're an omnivert, right, meaning you're kind of a hybrid of those two things, it can be very beneficial if you really want to stimulate a conversation with a person who's kind of socially awkward and they don't really do a lot of talking. Ask them a why question. Ask them about their why. I guarantee you, you're going to get a whole mouthful.
Hey, everyone. Thank y'all so much for tuning into Before I Do. Tonight, we talked about what's on your secret dating checklist. And so you can join us next week for our next topic. And listen, be sure to reach out to us at couplesacademy.org. Book us for a session. We would love to speak with you about what's on your secret dating checklist, and most importantly, why, and helping you utilize that information to get to know you better. So my name is Walter Jennings.
My name is Charmaine Jennings.
And we are your Couples Academy practitioners. Until next time, we'll see y'all next week for more Before I Do. Good night, everybody.
Welcome to the Couples Academy app. The Couples Academy app is your go-to hub for how to do marriage right. Get started with our app today by perusing our amazing features that conveniently allow you to connect. This app is packed with powerful content and resources to help you grow and stay connected. With this app, you can watch our messages, find marriage resources, watch, listen, and read the real-life stories of restored couples, sign up for events, read articles and blog posts, stay up to date with push notifications, share your favorite messages via Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or email, and download messages for offline listening. For more information about the Couples Academy app, go to couplesacademy.org.